Me and little Ben jumped on a plane and we went and looked at this deal because number one, I know the area is growing. Number two, it has a grocery anchor. The best type of retail centers to me are the ones that have a grocery anchor because typically groceries ain't going nowhere. People need to eat. So this one caught my eye because it happened to be what I consider a high-end grocer and in a really good growing neighborhood. We went out there and we took a look at it and we found it was ideal in the typical type of retail centers we like to buy. Anchored grocery and necessity. Chinese food. Get your hair done. Get your nails done. Go to the hearing aid guy. Go to the optometrist. Go to the dentist. Necessities, okay? That's what we like. Okay, it's showing an NOI here of almost $2 million a year. But it doesn't come with a price. So basically, I gotta come up with the price. I gotta write up an LOI in this place. 7 years old for a big shopping center like this is not old. And that's what we're trying to do too. We found out, because we didn't know retail, we just jumped into it. So now we realize, listen, if you buy an old retail center, you better be prepared for future expenses in the roof and the parking lots at least, because they're your responsibility. And you might be able to get reimbursed for some basic expenses of maintenance in the CAM, but major capital improvements depends on the lease. But typically, if it's a big center, you're on the hook for the roof and you're on the hook for that parking lot if it needs major work. Read your lease. Finding out now, we bought some older shopping centers and we're starting to have some issues. Okay, all right, the painting ain't too bad. Paint never costs you that much. Parking lots can get very expensive. If you can't just seal over it and coat it and stripe it, which you might be able to cam out to the tenant if the lease provides, that's not bad. But when you guys start doing asphalt work, that shit ain't cheap, let me tell you. And you guys start replacing roofs. I asked Paulie to give me some bids on some roofs where we're starting to have some leaks at. He's handing me bids, $300,000, $500,000. One building will cost $1 million just to put a new roof on it. So now we know. We can't buy these things for the regular cap rate if we have to put $1 million roof on it or $1 million parking lot in it one day in the near future. So now, what I'm thinking of, let me take all these older buildings I got, they're still in good shape, okay, and let's sell them and trade them out for newer assets where I don't have to worry about that. That's what my goal is going to be in 2023. But as far as the bones and the base of the property, I liked it. It was nice. It was a busy street. It was a good neighborhood. It had good stores in it. It was something that was just built 7 years ago, and you should be able to not have to worry about this place the next 20 years. Typically, I think these shopping centers, if they're built in the right location, you got a minimum 25 years on these locations. A lot of them go out to 50. I already wrote an LOI, but now I think my LOI was just a little too low because of all the competition. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. Probably going against about half a dozen minimum real deal buyers. All right, so I gotta come up with the right price at the right terms and try to get the deal. Because this would fit my 1031 perfectly. There's no real value add in this until the leases come up for renewals and increases. But, you know, I'm not just looking for value add. I'm looking at real estate because of the 1031 to be somewhere like a savings account, where at least I'm deferring the taxes and I'm putting the money to work where it's gonna get me a good return. This thing I'm gonna try to buy it in a mid-7 cap, all right? So at least I'll get 7.5% return. With the way interest rates are today, cash on cash, I'd be lucky if that's 9 because rates are so high. That's pretty good, and I defer my taxes because it takes care of a 1031. Makes sense to me. Everybody's got their own situation. You gotta find real estate that fits your life and your portfolio and what you're trying to accomplish. Everybody has their own goals in real estate. These are my goals. What are yours? Thinking about doing a real estate deal? Get me on the phone. I have over 30 years experience and have bought and sold over $1 billion worth of real estate. You can get me on the phone, you can have a private meeting, and we can even do lunch, baby. Go to benmal.com/shop and book a consult today.